This video shows you how to complete your snowy sunset background. Always put your name and teacher code on the back. Before you start adding any paint, you're going to trace a circle shape. Anywhere on the top half of your paper is where your sun will be. After your circle is on your paper, then you're ready to start just adding yellow. So everyone's going to have a container with just a little bit of yellow paint in it. So very carefully paint inside of that circle, keeping your circle shape, just using the very tippy top of your brush so it stays a nice shape the whole time we paint. Now we'll start adding the rings that go around our sun. So what you're going to do is make sure you don't have too much yellow on your brush, and you're going to get the slightest amount of orange. You only want to start with a small amount because we can't take it back out. So start with just a little bit and give it a stir, and it should just change your yellow very slightly. You want very, very slight changes, not very dramatic. So it's just a tiny bit darker than the yellow on my paper. And then I'm going to very carefully paint just over the edge of the yellow that's on there, and go ahead and add my first ring of color. And you're going to do this about 3 or 4 times depending on how long this takes you, but try to get at least 3 rings on there. You're going to go ahead after your first ring and repeat that process. So kind of scrape your brush a little bit, and we're going to grab a little bit more orange and stir it in there so it changes. If it still looks the same, add a little bit more orange. But remember, we're just getting a slight change, not a big change. So if you put your brush on your paper and it's not a big enough difference, then you can always grab more orange and make it a little bit darker. So same exact thing, we're kind of just slightly painting over the ring that is there, going all the way around, really doing a nice job and taking our time. Go ahead and repeat the process again, getting even more orange this time. And if I test it, so it's not as dark as I'd like, so I'm going to just scrape my brush and dip into my orange. Notice I didn't ever stir my orange because I don't want to change the orange for anyone else. All right, looks good. So this time I might have to go off the edge. So if you did your circle kind of near the edge, or you notice your rings are getting near the edge, it's okay to paint off the edge of your paper to continue that ring. And right now I'm on my 3rd ring, and probably the next ring I will just use plain orange, so I won't mix on the last ring. If there's time remaining, you could start to paint around your sunset that you've created with the turquoise kind of blue color, and you're going to use the same kind of motion where we're going sort of circular when we paint, and make sure your brush that you're using is clean and dry. If my orange is still a little bit shiny and wet, I'm going to not paint right up next to it until the next time we meet, because I don't want to accidentally mix the kind of turquoisey color and the orange, because it won't make a nice color. So I'm leaving a little bit of space unless it is dry, and I'm still continuing to go kind of circular when I paint so that it keeps that nice appearance. And we can see our brush strokes, so make sure that they're doing the same thing. Really big brush strokes, nice and smooth. And at this point, hopefully you have a placemat. If not, it's okay. The table is easily cleaned off. When it is time to clean up, go get cardboard first, so we're not walking across the room with a really soft piece of painty paper, and carefully place it on the drying rack.